Interesting. Ah. Three, flights. Let's do it. Oh shit, I'm in on flights. That's right. Oh shit, I'm in on flights. Alright. Oh shit, I'm in on flights. That's right. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Oh shit, I'm in on flights. That's right. Oh shit, I'm in on flights. Alright. Oh shit, I'm in on flights. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Yeah. It's the problem. Oh shit, I've been on the flights. Oh shit, I ain't on my flight. Oh bitch, fuck the corners. And after you take it, we was blue. Wings out working up. Bitch, I'm yours now. But that would be my I sure you know. Let that pussy wet like the shore do. Like boss, the switch the weather. Stay inside till shit get better. Stay in the kitchen. I would never die. I got be born without no cell phone. But there's so much bread I can smell toast. If you choose to be in that program, then you can stay in that hellhole. That female's pussy's a hellhole, but it's over there to experience. She gave me so much shit, I built a pyramid. I'm serious. Oh shit, I'm in on flight. That's right. Oh shit, I'm in on flight. Alright. Oh shit, I'm in on flight. That's right. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Oh shit, I'm in on flight. That's right. Oh shit, I'm in on flight. Alright. Oh shit, I'm in on flight. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Had the blueprint and the red print. Mortgage just had pills, the nigga ain't said shit. But I had to be a slave twice. Another man, got the whole world on the plane, nigga. Somewhere far, far, far out of space, nigga. I'm thinking these humans ain't got a mind. So mind your business, cause I'm minding mine. I've been to earth like 1,000 times, and I'm living way out of range, nigga. Your yeah, never change, nigga. And every religion Messiah, you know if the next Jesus do the same, nigga. It's so much shape or form, I can't think it form. Visions ain't the norm, you can't take the storm, so you stand dorm. Just you make the score, proof without play. I'ma make it form. Your body is a spaceship, yeah. Now shoot my copy, you bitch. Make sure your chakra lit. You didn't get caught in the ditch. Like you done lost all your sense. Just because I'm an archangel, believe that was not my expense. You would get badly dissected to another path of direction. A mental gymnastic and wrestling, make a nigga do action projection. Never be mad or distraction, cause I know time is infinity. Your love is the parlament, and I never fly with the enemy. Oh shit, I'm in on flight. That's right. Oh shit, I'm in on flight. Alright. Oh shit, I'm in on flight. That's right. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Oh shit, I'm in on flight. That's right. Oh shit, I'm in on flight. Alright. Oh shit, I'm in on flight. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Really? man original, like TV digital, right? Convertible, all real, just so you know this ain't no GMO. And I want, I can have it. Get money's a habit, what comes being a bad bitch. I'm still trying to get tripped, I barely had it. These hoes try to copy me, but they ain't in my bracket. I shine brighter than the diamonds with that fancy jacket. If it ain't authentic, y'all can have it. Anything that I want to. I can do anything, even if I just need a little change of my heart. Nothing is yours, just imagine it and grab it. Be aware of your habits, work toward it till you have it and discover that you magic. Our existence seems scholastic, it's unexplained, just like magic. I've been in pain, I've been happy, I've been estranged, I've been tapped in. It's your story to tell. Your words affect how it happens. Your life could be hella heaven. It's all about how you grasp it. I can't call it, but I can. I'm psychic when I'm most active, eating well, working out, and relaxing, drinking less, making more. Now I'm naturally proactive, cause the bullshit gon' come. That's just energy reenacting. It don't disappear. That shit's been a plot like some nozzles clapping. That ain't it what they was after. Make your goals your target. Practice life. Do anything that I want to. Do anything, even if I just had a little change in my heart. That I want to. How I put this guy shit in perspective.
Virgo.
Yeah.
Go for it.
A like
chaos. People talking about, yo, are you sure you believe in God? Do you believe in spirituality? Do you? Are you guys confused?
yeah.
On this planet?
So what do you do? So what do you do when you so official? And what do? They come up to me to give me attention. So what I got changed? So what I'm gonna blame? So what I'm the vision? So what I attract the magnet? This is the gold potential. So what I'm the sun? I cannot neglect. I'm gonna meet the silver. So what I'm the best? The outlook of me. I'm gonna be a nigga. So what she was wrong? If I don't be wrong, I'm gonna be the villain. So what she be off? If I don't be off, I'm gonna be the victim. And growing up say I go crazy, but I should stop acting crazy. I've been going through ascension, ain't trying to explain it. If all else fail, I'll shock them with facts, you never go brainless. So what if I'm wrong? I'll never go wrong, I'm writing the pages. Boy, you wanna meet up in other dimensions, I've been through the phases. Engage me in some liberation. Basically, I ain't a plain Jane, I don't shoot past the basics. If I bring the tree to life, I'm gonna be lit up for saving. Ash fell out of the ashtray, shadows that came out the agate. Bad woman to a Catholic, Vatican know it's the last days. The end of the world was ending my world, so you know pathways. Hey, they cannot stop me, I'm gonna make it out, get out of my pathway. I'm way too young to be guessing, way too young to be guessing. I'm way too young to be guessing, way too young to be guessing. Strategy all in my moves, so I won't fail if I mess up. I'm way too stupid for stressing, way too stuck on perfection. Think you worried if you stop smoking, we'll start eating edibles. Last bites hides the evidence, why did I hire the gecko? Girl, you been fucking with bums and most of them ain't out the ghetto. Baby, so if I meet, put the instant mellow. Highway sleeping beauty if she acting like Maleficent. Ain't cuff season missing episodes, getting arrested for the settlement. You calling me an ebony, now I'm dealing with negligence. I feel like Almighty God by getting the flesh in his effortless. I had to humble myself before I indulge in the beverages. Y'all probably think I'm the exorcist. I'm the Exodus. Hey, you should've known about his excellence, subtlety, even elegance. This shit ain't for entertainment purposes, I'm getting it elegant. Ego out of body too, I can see it in my absence. Either way, I am a god, but you gotta address the elephant. I'm too busy getting rich, I don't gotta impress the president. You already know I'm a sparring and I'm a spar with the veterans. So what do you do? The hood is sick and you all in love. But what did you do? You got you a chick from selling them drugs. Yeah, I be preaching this stuff like I never served your auntie. I used to work out bomb, but change never could have stopped me. He probably thought I was Saddam, I probably thought I was a Ghana. The gas make him think I'm dead, the bombs really just gunned him. Damn, they ain't had to send the news, this nigga could have just called her. Yeah, I'ma make it past 25, I'll be honoring Donda. Hitting Hove up in my money phone, he won't hang up, EC44. This shit is gonna hit a funny bone, put up in the front porch. Violate from the undertone, expand my wings in the upper dome. Kick out my feet with my jumpers on, show off my shit on my comfort zone. I caught a breath in the atmosphere, had to ask on my morality. Dream soul to the masses, sleeping on the immortality. They wanna keep me immortality. Yeah.
Scientifically proven that they are highly important. And all of them have to aspire for life to grow more diverse and complex. That takes work. Creation, the act of creation. That takes work. We have a brain designed through the eye to gather and store information in the mind. That information in the mind is transferred to the plasma in the body via your mitochondria and the structured water in your cells to the histones. Those histones then speak to the DNA directly and tell the body how to build and change and grow for the environment. You are here to win.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your transit talk. A lot of you said you're excited. That's because we just came out of the most legendary Sagittarius season that, not surprisingly, this Mercury in Capricorn transit will not only help you process this higher ascension of your capability, but you see this peak level on Pluto. This is the full awakening and completion of processing power that your brain, in its link with your spiritual higher mental faculty and your body's ability to Virgo analyze what you are experiencing, be. It was a lot. It was so amazing. Unless you were a Sag Sun or up there, like there's so much levels that you might miss. This is going to help you process all of that. So, first of all, this is Capricorn season. This is it. Everything you may have thought you've known, taught to you from regimes or authorities that are not based on truth but based on lies, whether you unconsciously or consciously hold on to this, that's on you. By the time Pluto gets to this point, see how there's nothing in Sag, South Node in Scorpio, nothing in Libra, Virgo, Leo. This is the energy we had when we started social distancing. This is the end of the world, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be processing 2 years worth of information, revisiting the beginning of this apocalypse cycle, March 21st, 2020. So this is the completion arc. Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, that's it. We activated spring, we integrated summer, we broke through fall, and now everything that we literally learned in Gemini, mastered in Virgo, and broke through in Sagittarius, it's literally all coming together. You are about to kick the most ass you've ever kicked ever in your life. This is the final boss battle. This is the final boss battle of a conflict that you kicked in 2008. So like you got this revolutionary new Super Mario game 2008 and you have been grinding hard at that game and now you're finally about to face fucking Bowser for the final time and beat the game. If you're over 30 years old, maybe you're like 50, you know what I'm talking about, because you probably played the Pluto Sag pack from 1995 to 2008. I wasn't old enough for that. I was born 19. I was 5 years old when that came out. I still wasn't old enough to drink alcohol. I had to come of age. So like this period isn't only so serious. I want you to highlight how the literal heavy hitters are here. Like moving forward, there's no lulls, there's no breaks. You're going to see this collectively all over the world. This is what you have been feeling, everything culminating towards Pluto, and then Aquarius, Saturn, and then Pisces, Neptune, and then Jupiter, Aries, and then Uranus, Taurus. My bad. And then we're literally going to have a breather, Gemini. I want you to see how we're literally going to have a breather in Gemini. Mars isn't going to be there. And then boom, Cancer, we hit the opposition with the retrograde. So here's the thing. I'm not going to really be embellishing things. You have come into the vision of who you are. This is so amazing coming into this. At this point, and you can comment an exclamation mark emoji if this resonates with you. You have done at least one thing and experienced synchronization that has confirmed your vision of yourself is right, and there's an ability you have done. Maybe there is an ability you're trying to do, but it's a superpower you have done, literally done. And it's like, wow, it may not be like, there we go. It's like Goku doing the Kamehameha after seeing it once. It wasn't powerful. It barely broke a car, which was still powerful, but you know, it began the process of a legacy that, you know, became one of his signature attacks. You may not even be aware that you've broken through. And that's what I'm so grateful for, really. Sagittarius season did its job to break you through. That you carried on Libra, Scorpio. Everyone felt it's like a sexy level up. So there's something I wanted to say starting this, which I'm glad I actually elapsed now. Before I say it, I want to set the intention that, of course, the message that I spread and send here reaches the ears it's meant to reach, and that you gain the utmost of quality from this transit talk. This is going to be a very important transit talk because this is a completion of processing power that you've put in for a long time. Like, they're going to be key facets of things you've learned for 12 years that are all just going to click, 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 click. You're literally spending this whole transit revisiting everything that you failed at doing and just kicking its ass. Like, oh, that's why I failed it. Oh, I sabotaged this. Oh, I definitely sabotaged this. It's just going to be like, in fact, this is going to hit hard if, and this doesn't have to apply to all of you. You can comment a fire sign emoji. This doesn't have to apply to everybody. So I'm just saying, I don't even feel it does. Maybe it does. But some of you are coming on to the realization that you have been trolling yourself completely for like the last 3 years at least. Like you're literally unconsciously bringing yourself to situations and understanding, oh yeah, I did that on purpose. Oh yeah, I could have done this the whole time. Oh yeah, you could have clicked your heels like 2 times the whole time. You just had to go through this tower moment. And your physical brain struggles to process it because it's the most retarded shit ever. It's the most retarded shit ever. But spiritually, it's like, wow, it's underlying the inner latent wisdom of an extra dimensional aspect of yourself that operates your physical vessel through time and space. And now I understand the human design chart where you have the natal chart and then that ghost chart. Some of you are getting ready to tap into this transpersonal sense of yourself that you right now are its physical avatar that experiences, but it is your eternal self, your spiritual aspect. The reason why I love this is because the Pisces sun archetype, and maybe Scorpio sun too, the Pisces sun archetype is unique in that with their extrasensory perception, they approach this from the ghost part, whereas Virgo approaches it more from the 3D part. Gemini is equally between both, and then Sagittarius can see through both. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please confirm that if with your experience you felt that. But anyway, 222222222. I can end this transit talk right here. Like, listen, this is not a joke. Do you see this? By this point, okay, Mercury is going to have a retrograde this transit. So, like, if you're here, it's for a reason. And you'll be able to watch the replay. This transit talks are not membership exclusive. And I'm going to add more available live series. Transit talk, this replay will be available. Okay, available. But like by the time we reach February, right? This transit talk is from December 6th, or Mercury is from December 6th to February 11th, 2023. Okay. So relative to that, by the time you have reached this point, you breaking through out of the fire of Sagittarius is like a weapon forged out of the heat of the gods. And so Capricorn is not just a drying process. There's a very important function to the completion of Capricorn that with the vision of Sagittarius pushes you towards your greatest direction. Marcy, if you do click the description box below, I do have instructions for any of you who would like a live reading. This is a very important stream, so I am pulling from the Demon Slayer deck. And I will, of course, start this reading off with an underlying theme. And I'm going to end this before the live readings with a pick a card reading. So if you want to pick a card reading for what specific power you're identifying through, what higher self identification and theme you're moving forward to amplify. Imagine this was Mario Kart. This is like a magic box that'll amplify your intent. You are the one who amplifies it because you're that wicked, awesome, powerful. Here's the thing, okay? I'm going to revisit this. I literally can end this transit talk right here. This is the most amazing thing about how simple but powerful Capricorn is. Do you remember what I played in the beginning? Do you remember the 3 songs I played in the beginning? And this is very important. Intention is everything. So how many of you are able to maintain an intention throughout this entire transit talk? How many of you are going to be completely distracted by certain influences in the transit talk, inside and outside the chat? How many of you are actually paying attention? How many of you understand that nothing is random? I'm saying that because are you aware of what you listened to in the beginning? Did you listen to it, or did you just hear it? Did you even show up in the beginning? Remember, this is Capricorn. What does Capricorn teach you? You have to be on time. You have to be focused. You have to actually bring everything together. Everything has a purpose. Okay? Don't worry. There's a replay. But the reason why I'm telling you this right now is Capricorn is the real world. So this is Mercury in Capricorn. The reason why I said I can end this transit talk right now is just based on what I asked you. Capricorn requires a certain integrity. So if if you want to lie to yourself, you can. But personally, if up until this point at 26 minutes in, you focused on everything we did and set this intent straight, you're going to master this transit. If you were distracted, you're going to be distracted during the transit. That way, it's not really that, and that's how Capricorn tests. Okay, like it's not really up to play. This is based off of what just happened the past 20 minutes. So while Mercury is in Capricorn, you have an idea of how you're going to do this transit, period. And you don't necessarily want to judge your performance as there's no wrong way to do what you did, but just really keep in mind what you did for the past 25 minutes. This is what you'll be able to align moving forward. Okay, I just wanted to. There is extra credit. There is extra credit to pick a card reading. Here's the thing. This test that just happened right now isn't a test that you fail or pass. When you start a course, sometimes you get like a diagnostic test. It's not like a test you get graded on, it's a proficiency test. So this test right now is a proficiency to test, is my current focus going to get me through this transit, or should I align? Really keep that in mind. Because for those of you, Capricorn is my 9th house of higher education. Listen, you're good. Listen, I was fucking around leading up to here. Like, you're seeing me dance because it was Sagittarius season. It's Capricorn now. You are literally right now, as we speak, on the crux of walking up the mountain into a final boss battle that's going to break you through interdimensional, intergalactic conflicts playing out internationally on this planet, into revolutions that are not only historical, but will have you watching me take part of some of the most historical times of our life. I know this because the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, there was the French revolutions, there was the American revolutions, all these states were colonies, you had millions of people dying from illnesses, war. So like, that doesn't mean it's going to happen the same way, but the best way that I can tell you this is if you think about the shifts that happen with Pluto, this shift of Pluto Capricorn coming into 23 into Aquarius is similar to an entire collective of people who have watched all of collective issues through their smartphone devices, through their tablets, and through their cellular phones. And you do have people in denial, very staunch denialists who feel like because they spend more time in the real world, they're somehow different, even though they also use smartphones and do the same antics with people in real world. It's actually very amazing. But given the shift of infrastructure primarily towards these collective broadcasting channels, okay, majority of people in the collective are making the shift from being projected this to Steve from Blue's Clues going into the actual conflict. Please let me know if this resonates with you. We're literally collectively stepping into reading about news stories to being in them. If it's like coming out of this false peace structure where you're caught with so much propaganda and delusion, it's easy to sweep under the rug what's been happening. Well, what happens if everything under the rug just collapses under itself and everything gets revealed all at once and it directly involves you? This isn't necessarily coming out of nowhere. We've been seeing evidence of this. Lockdown here, lockdown there, mandatory thing here, this getting exposed, these Twitter files getting exposed. It's just a little different when extreme quality of how this actually occurs all at once. Regardless, before shit like that hits the fan, the best way I could say is the capacity and quality of powers you are strengthening your brain is not only going to prepare you, because if you think about the subconscious soul family you are a part of, like Sense 8, it, as you align with your destiny, draws and unfolds the next step for you. And so you are developing abilities as a part of a collective. You're going to be more conscious of these facets than ever because you have been evolving your awareness. Once again, February 11th, 29 degrees. By the time this happens with Mercury, ew, by the time this happens with Mercury squaring your, Pluto and Mercury, right? Your ability to process information, because it's going to be trining Uranus, this is going to completely shift the way you powerfully not only manifest with your thoughts, but add productivity to the direction you actually think in. So you might say a word very seriously, and then it happens instantly. It's such an extreme level of focus that you have completely awakened any limiting beliefs and blockages that brought you out of alignment with every single one of your desires, and you're more focused on than ever. The reason why this is very important is a very intense, especially if you already feel it happening, of this very intense Plutonian awakening is almost like coming out of the coal or fire, and then it strengthens and cools. You know how Aquarius is cool? It cools off in Aquarius and immediately begins to strengthen. So you immediately start to get knowledge. You'll find that a newer generation, Aquarius, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, Sagittarius, you guys will actually come into this faster because you process energy. I think out of all of the generations, you process energy the fastest or the most ascended. But regardless, not that there's a need for speed. The ability for you to actually organize your brain processing around your ability to manifest is going to shock you at first, which is why the retrograde is very necessary. You may start to see that the synchronicities are cute Sagittarius season, but now it's like, oh shit, I can't turn it off. It just keeps coming in. Yeah, don't worry about turning it off. You're building neural pathways during this final arc of completion at literally the greatest level, Capricorn. So there's so much I want to say. Lightworker Enterprises, I got your PayPal, and Dat Mouthy, I got your Cash App. So appreciate you. Okay, for those of you. By the way, I'm also going to be doing Transit Talk live readings. So if you want a live reading, of course, I will be able to interpret what Mercury will do in your chart to minimum $40. So with that being said, there's so much that I have to preface for this. In its simplistic basis, Mercury in Capricorn is literally empowering your mind. Like, it's setting you in the final direction that by the time it reaches Pisces, this is where you can flex more imaginative possibilities. I want to explain this right, okay? Pisces is the fundamental faith building of almost stretching out the astral body of your consciousness. The more faith that you have, you're literally flexing that faith muscle. Virgo is flexing your literal physical muscles. And then Virgo and Pisces together is combining both of them. Just like you can work out your physical body, you can work out your spirit through faith. And now this is okay. I think I'm done. When I say flexing faith to actually believe in things that were impossible because you made them happen, making miracles. Okay. So here's where I want to just make sure I get the groundworks, because we didn't necessarily. This transit talk is going to be a little different. This transit talk finna be a little different. Okay, see, I got the higher consciousness shirt. Like, it's like you're literally tuning into the highest version of yourself, And you now have to acclimate for your body's ability or inability to capture the energy, right? So, with that being said, Mercury in Capricorn is the fundamental final block building towards the decisive decision making on your character that will allow you to actually structure your brain's ability to step into your power. Okay. Water, you sexy bitch. Oh my God, Water, you're so sexy. I just wanted to say, bitch. No, I'd be coughing easily, but it's not necessarily that I'm high. There's a way that I want to say this because you'll see. I'm about to start channeling. Watch. Listen, I'm about to start hitting. The reason why I'm like building a Capricorn structure around this, because when I start hitting, I don't want it to come out of nowhere. And then it's going to start. Okay. So thank you. We cooking. I'm about to get to work. Okay. So here's the thing. That's why I was like, by the time we finish here at the 11th, you have mastered your brain's ability to process information at the highest level of your capability. Case in point, you are processing your brain at 100% of its capability. Collectively, you are entering a cerebral apex. Understand that certain people entering this may trigger myocardic states and may trigger heart attacks because they don't have the physical health in their body to handle so much stress, especially with things going on. So if you see people dropping dead, just remember we are entering into the beginning of the end of the world. It's not a fucking joke. Okay. On top of that, it's on America's Pluto return. So there's going to be a crazy scandals you're coming into express details into, which none of this will really be a bad thing. Okay. Once you achieve this cerebral apex, okay, it's going to strengthen and you're going to come into the knowledge of how to use what you did. So you're actually doing it. Then Aquarius is giving you the knowledge of it. Then you're literally perfecting it in Pisces by stretching out the imagination. In order for you to stretch out your imagination and imagine everything that's possible, you have to first create that path and decide it's possible. Right. So this Capricorn process is having you each degree decide with your thoughts. You are worthy of this. You are worthy of that. This is who you are at the highest level of your being. Okay. The retrograde of Mercury is happening from December 30th to January 18th. And we're going to really break this down. Like the sequence of these planets and how they move is just gangsterific. Totally dondastic. I really just want to make up stupid words at this point. This is going to be like very, very incredible-licious because you're not only stepping into a greater faculty of your brain's ability to process, which is literally happening right now, but everything that you are doing as a result of your brain's ability to process supernatural phenomena is applying this in ways that are uplifting you out of every issue and challenge that you had, to the point where it's like now with Mercury and Capricorn, you are using your brain to process in this simulation input output with the wisdom of Pluto, awakening depth in the physical structure of this matrix, your ability to see a synchronicity, pull it out of the transdimensional nature of the conceptual framework that your spirit alluded you to see it as, and instantly give it real context so that it's not just the synchronicity. Like you're breaking through that threshold where it's like, oh, I saw a sign, to where it's like, oh, snap, this is a key to the universe. And like you find a secret compartment, like it's directly applicable more than ever, to the point that it is going to scare you, because it's almost going to feel like you're being watched. It's almost going to feel like you're being trolled. And actually, yeah, you are, by yourself. This is actually going to be the process. Bro, listen. Real life limitless. This is why this is going to kick off. By the way, this completion arc is preparing you for the revolution. The revolution, the apocalypse cycle, and the tribulation period, the 7-year tribulation period from 2020 to 2027 is the installment of new firmware in every single dimension, being Pluto going into Aquarius by 2023, Neptune and Saturn going into Aries by 2025. Yep, Duke Esquire, and you got all that fire. So I know you see it in everyone too. And then we conclude with Uranus and Gemini 2027. So that's the collective awakening and revolution. That's the breakthrough of individual power. And then that's the installation of the new world technology and all sorts of other shenaniganery, which is just going to be crazy, because we're going to have hybrids walking around here, so more soulless beings than ever. I don't believe in soulless beings, but like I probably will. Zombies. See, when I say zombie outbreaks and vampires, you're not going to be afraid, because this revolution consists of you developing supernatural abilities. Everyone born after 95 has supernatural abilities on a godlike level. Watch Chronicle. People born before are developing force powers like in Star Wars, and it's unique to the eccentricities of your personality. Personality is your power. It is the uniqueness of what you express your power to. And so the disclosure, this is the most important part of this revolution. Everyone is waiting for disclosure from the government. Everyone is waiting for somebody to come out and give disclosure. But the kingdom of heaven is within you. The revolution is that every single individual, like this is why they want to wipe you out. They cannot lie to you, because you have the answer within you. When an entire collective awakens their own uniqueness and the ability to discern what's happening, it's going to create pandemonium. What if we're able to kill as much people as we can to limit and control? That's preposterous. Why would somebody go out their way to kill that much people? That doesn't make sense. But I dare ask you if any of this makes sense. Is the moon really a moon or a plant, especially from Saturn? Are the governing authorities who govern you have the authority to govern you? Are they who they say they are? All of these things are literally finna be demystified. And the key facet of this revolution is the fact that you are stepping into limitless facets of your being. Like you literally only just started. The reason why this is very exciting is the direct applicability of how you're going to be able to use these abilities to make more money, to break through out of debt, to actually enhance everything that you're already doing better. And there's going to be this rush of exhilaration where you're doing this. But you have to remember, all of this is coming at a head to the final boss battle. Trust, these same abilities will come at risk of being regulated and taken from you. And you're not going to let those be taken for you. So just know revolution is upon you. And this is revolution in a sense where you're liberating your consciousness. Revolution in a sense where you are fighting by just quintessentially being yourself and speaking your free mind and living authentically to you, pretty much, and thrive. Okay. So Mercury, given its transit, is literally retrograding because if your brain doesn't reevaluate the fact that for your whole life you've been transpersonally bringing elements from unseen realms into reality, you would go into such a shock, you wouldn't know how to process your mind moving forward. You would just start to like glitch your mind. The retrograde phase of Mercury is aiding into a software, an operation system update. As you can see, by the time it's direct, the sun is getting ready to go on operating system Saturn. That's jailbroken by the fuck it system. See, not everyone got the fuck it system because they're given the narratives that they're told. They're given the narratives that they're shoved down their throat, and they deep throat these narratives because they want to be told how to think. And the thing is, with this operation system, they kind of censored certain things, so you can't really look up certain information that you did. And if you do, that operating system is really strict. It's a firmware update. It's like having an update on a phone. And some people are just completely deep throating these narratives, just guzzling it and taking it down their throats to the point that there's saliva coming out their mouth. It's very disgusting. And then they're looking at you like, why won't you shove those narratives down your throat? What's wrong with you? Why won't you deep throat those narratives too? And you're looking at them crazy like, excuse me? A lot of you are very confused at why you don't. People are mad that you won't shove bullshit narratives down your throat. And so they don't understand why you immediately got the very controversial jailbreak. Okay, that jailbreak is the square to Uranus. You see this square to Uranus? That's the jailbreak, the fuck it system. If you have an iOS, you got iOS fuck it. If you got Apple or Android, you got Android fuck it. If you had PlayStation, the whole point of the jailbreak and square to the system is that Uranus hacked that system so that all the limitations that suppressed it, released it. See where I'm going here? So now this is giving you an opportunity to build your mind around this innovation of your physical senses. Okay, we're going to get into this. Moving forward, your understanding and direct application of quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement and string theories that presume that every single possibility you ever could dream of is here is going to be so real. It's not going to be a concept anymore. You literally have every version of yourself that exists. And Mercury and Capricorn coming into its sextile, semi-sextile in conjunction in Pisces with Neptune will have you master how to tune in to any, like literally, you could be driving a car and then you can literally lose control of that car. And instead of like getting worried, you'll instantly just be calm, like, oh, and you'll tune into a version of yourself that walks out that car accident with nothing. Some of you have done that without having to consciously do it. But like, I want you to think about how outrageous it is for me to just say that. That's how you're going to feel. Some of you will feel like it's nothing because you've done it before. See, everyone's listening is different. Some of you, this ain't your first rodeo. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're taking everything you've ever experienced and you're putting it all together. Everything you've ever experienced. Some of you have, okay, I want you to comment an exclamation mark if from Scorpio season, especially in November, and Sagittarius season, you started to see hardcore reflections of certain moments that you had, certain extreme synchronicities that are still a mystery, that are just like, wow, like this experience happened, that experience happened, that's vague as fuck, but like a supernatural experience that you're still to this day probably marveling what, but the fact that it's welling up in your consciousness, right? And you're starting to realize at this stage of your journey, right? It's like you're coming into reviewing with more wisdom than ever. Right. In fact, some of you are understanding a lot of these synchronicities with deeper experience. Okay. For every single one of you who commented an exclamation mark, the power of everything that you've experienced is all coming together. It's all coming into a single point, and then you're moving forward from that single point. And so it's like it's going to be like you're in the show Supernatural, and because you've been going through this spiritual journey, you're going to recognize and apply everything you've learned in these situations. You're going to be like, oh snap, let me pull a card. The card reading is accurate and it literally moves you forward. Remember, there are invisible aspects that you're interfacing with. So you're going to be one of the few people who knows how to use your spiritual gifts to actually advance forward. This is literally a bonus round. This is the final boss battle. The bonus round is actually Pisces season, where you get fellatio under the table after the dinner, but the full course meal of Aquarius season. Yeah, it's I have to actually pause because the fellatio is controversial, because it's like really like head after a full course meal, and it's like, should we even do this here? Is this right? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a moment like that. And once again, how does what I say make you feel? Because that's what you're going to feel when this comes. That's why I have to say it like that. It's like, what? Really? You're just going to give me head, right? Oh, this is good. Should I feel good about this? Like, that's the bonus round. Okay. And like, this is where you're going to have to get over controversial taboo aspects of if you should or not. Because, hey, you're going to enjoy it. Here's the thing. This is the final boss battle that is applying. It's going to feel like you're in a role-playing game. So what are you role-playing as? The highest version of yourself that's going to, and I have to say the highest version of yourself, because in order to get through, you need to be tapped into higher consciousness. This is what's going to give you the complete understanding of everything you've broken through, as this is a completion arc that after Pisces will now push you forward into Aries. And once we step into Aries, April of 2023, and we have the Sun conjunct Jupiter 2022 transit, we're out of there. That's a blast off into a new 12-year cycle. The last time we had something like this was 2010. So this is completing everything. It's bringing everything together before we step into April, and Pluto's in Aquarius, and then the beginning of the end of the world, Saturn's in Pisces. Okay. By the time we're there, you will know, you will have planned everything Capricorn season, come into the total knowledge Aquarius season, and now imagined Pisces season. Boom, we take action Aries. So it all begins now. This is the best way I can say you're beginning to use your superpowers. So Mercury in Capricorn is your brain's ability to process exactly what you're using. It's giving you an intellectual mechanic about this, and processing power is important because this is what enables your computer to actually process the gigabytes and the data in the processor. The more powerful it processes, the more programs it can run. And the more powerful your programs actually run, the more powerful your magical abilities are, basically. So here's the thing. As you can see here, we're going to reach this peak state. Mars is going to be direct. You see that? Mars is going to be direct. So like, you're going to know exactly what to do. And it's go time. This is you coming up with the plan. And you are after Sagittarius season realizing you have to dream bigger. So this is literally you bringing out this higher decisive nature of your brain's frequency powers. So Mercury, if you want to think about what is happening, we can say as an analogy or reality, the crown and third eye chakra, Mercury, are the brain waves that you are emitting in order to tune in with the world you're creating. You have people looking at you shook because they're hitting you with threats and it's not phasing you. They don't know that the world within you has changed. And now this world outside of you is conforming to the world within you that has transformed. And so people are looking at you like you're a completely different person, but they can't see it because the change was internal. And it's frustrating some, it's exciting others, but no one knows you finna go in. Okay. The new characters arrive in 2023. And so this completion arc is the preparation for the new characters. Before we step into the new characters, we have to beat the final boss. And then Aquarius season is where we literally come into the Saturn reward. And then Pisces is where we enjoy it and then we step into it. So this is it. Everything that you do now is going to step into that. I want to once again emphasize Mercury is retrograding. And before I show you the retrograde cycle, in fact, I'm going to just show you the retrograde cycle. The reason why this is very key is because right now, Mercury is 20 degrees, okay? And on the 30th, in 9 days, coming near Pluto, it's going to retrograde. This is very important. Mercury is literally escorting the goddess of beauty to Hades. And then once Mercury is like, all right, Venus, here you go. It's time to awaken. It's like a near-death experience. Pluto's going to make Venus awaken. Mercury is going to now start going backwards to meet up with the sun. And let me actually show you that. You literally see Mercury catch up with Venus. And right when they hook up, boom, Mercury starts to go backwards. They literally pass the baton. That is not a coincidence. This is also coincidentally happening at the end of the year. So the end of the year is this build up into this major realization and mind-heart connection that's going to have you decisively kick in this cycle that will push you forward in this direction before you begin the most incredible re-evaluative process your brain has ever had, ever in the history of your living. Just due to the fact of this trine to Uranus alone and the sextile to Neptune, which will be in tandem with Venus, the trigger point where you have completed your unique power in manifestation. Uranus and Neptune, right? Mercury and Capricorn. And remember, if any of you saw the Venus retrograde hack or the Venus in Capricorn hack, that will also apply now. I'm going to explain it if you want to do it. It applies with Mercury too. Mercury and Venus are your decisive element in Capricorn. That is you deciding on your worth. So let's do an exercise right now. This exercise is going to charge your mind and your heart. Warning though, if you do this exercise, especially right now, because Mercury is at 20 degrees right now, it's going to work. Listen, listen, this is why Capricorn gets very frustrated, because everyone wants power, but Capricorn tests what you do with the power. And so this is very serious energy. You're going to see this instantly come through because you're watching this with 345 people too. And can you handle it? Do you have the responsibility to maintain it? Many people don't. So it shows up and it fizzles away, not because you're not good enough, but because you don't step up. So here's the thing. And I'm going to explain what I mean by step up. I'm going to teach you this hack that you can use for this entire Capricorn and Venus transit. Okay. And I did Venus in Capricorn Friday, so be sure to check that out. This is going to trine Uranus and Taurus, hyper manifest. You're not going to be able to turn this off. Make sure that what you focus on, you really want this, because it's going to work. Are you ready? Okay. And you'll find that for those of you who have deep wounds, you might start to cry. That's not you. That's subconscious. That's suppressed energy in your subconscious body releasing itself as you're shifting vibration. Are you ready? I want you to focus your mind on everything that's incredible about you. And you can focus for now on literally 3 things. What are 3 objective things that are incredible about you? Things that you've heard pretty much from everybody. Okay. Now, for any of you liars who are like, I don't know, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Stop lying. Just shut the fuck up now. Stop lying. You have at least 10. You have at least 10 things unique about you that no one else can even do. And if you need to spend the rest of your life discovering that, do. So just saying, if you still lying to yourself there, you're not going to make it through this transit. Let me tell you, you need to have a mental fortitude and power through this transit, or the Pluto transit will destroy you. Venus going through Pluto is a heart reality check awakening. Pluto is going to be like, do you really want this love shit? And it's going to show you the external reality of every single fear that you've had in love and relationships and put it to your face and be like, are you really about it? And it's going to test if you break down with that pressure or you move forward with faith like, that don't define me. I decide what I create. A lot of you are going to break through like fucking bosses. And you're going to see a lot of people break down like little bitches. But this is very important by the retrograde. So I really want you to just really focus on 3 things. Even if they're vague or specific, what are 3 things about yourself that you respect, that are incredible about you, that you may even have, and this is the coolest thing. Some of you may think that they have to be something specific and big. They can be simple. They can be simple as hell. In fact, now, if you want to take this advanced, this is what Aquarius and Pisces energy specializes in. You can even get it's not borderline delusional, but you can even think of certain things that may not even be conventionally cool or popular that you're proud of in yourself. That the thing is, you have to genuinely like it. So you can't fake it. You have to actually genuinely like it. So CDX, I don't believe you. I really don't believe you. You really do got this. If you need time, like you could spend the rest of the Mercury Capricorn transit sitting with yourself and just doing things. See, the whole notion is this can be based off of what other people have said about you. You may be certain of you may be very critical of yourself, but just be objective here. I'm going to say this again. The average person has at least 10 unique things about them. Like, seriously, it is impossible for someone to not have something incredible about themselves. Even people who have done the most heinous things and are losers, like they may have done something incredibly bad or incredibly, you know what I'm saying? So it's very important, because if you're not able to realize this, it's going to impede on your ability to awaken this power. For those of you who are able to recognize this, when you go through that Pluto test, you'll remember what's incredible about yourself. It will push you through. That being said, now that you have taken, and here, take some time to actually feel it. So you've now focused it, and now I want you to feel. So we're going to activate Venus first, but first we're activating Mercury. You're objective about it. This is just fact. And it could be simple too. It could be like, I'm patient, I'm kind. Okay. You're going to find that as this technique works, you can't fail. You can either you get feedback or you can just resist. So it's not that there's no right or wrong way to do this. You can either align more with your desire and intention of yourself or less with. The less you align, there we go. That's literally perfect. That's literally perfect. And the thing is, the more you actually focus on it, the more you're actually gonna be like, oh wow, I've been sleeping on this. Oh wow, this is actually dope. Just because you're starting to use it. Use keyword use Capricorn. Okay. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. You focusing on at least 3 things about you, because Capricorn is cardinal, right? That the reason why I'm saying things that you find incredible about yourself is because if you can find it incredible about yourself and it actually is incredible, you're not going to doubt this. Okay. Now, I want you to focus on anything you desire. Be very careful now. Listen, Venus is literally on Mercury and it's trine Uranus. They're in these connections to Neptune and Uranus. They're in invisible qualities that are hyper manifesting this. So if you're not serious about this, be very careful because this is going to manifest so quickly. It's going to shock you. There's going to be a Uranian shock because Jupiter is also in Aries. That's going to reevaluate how you have to adjust this. Okay. That being said, focus on what it is you desire. And now you're going to inert. Many of you are going to realize that you've been subconsciously sabotaging on purpose because you're that smart your desires as a protection mechanism. Okay. As you focus on what you desire, I want you to imagine what you desire literally being attracted to you. So, whereas you project to the universe, I desire this, I hope this can happen, I want this can happen, you're literally projecting and pushing away your desires. What we're going to do is the opposite. Now, instead of giving our power away, we're going to focus on our inner world. Well, I'm the shit. I'm really good at what I do. I have a very calming energy. I'm focusing on that. I'm now seeing and feeling everything I desire, literally being attracted to me because of that. Wow, he's very grounding. Wow, this person is very patient. I'm admired at how patient they are. Okay. And you're just impressing that on your subconscious. You can use sigils, you can use affirmations, but the key point is to now feel actual love, feel self love, which will put one side of the magnetic and then literally imagine attraction. Okay. There's nothing you have to do in 3D. If you want somebody to message you or to contact you, even if it's a specific person, you don't have to go to them and try and manipulate the 3D. You can literally use this technique and feel it. Be like, yo, I had to reach out to you. And the thing about this is it's going to shock you how literal what you were imagining actually happens. And here's the key to this, okay? Some of you may trip up and imagine and imagine and imagine and imagine, but then you look in your 3D and it's like, damn, I don't see it. And that's where you're not expecting or waiting for a result. It's already happened. Everything that you're feeling within has already happened. That is the vibration you're stepping into and tuning with. And so reality will reflect, you're going to see people respond to that versus them subconsciously responding to this lack and desire. I've heard this my whole life and it never made sense to me. Like I thought I understood it, but now it literally happens. And the thing is, you've already kind of been doing this. The synchronization process of Sagittarius has had you think of things and literally see them happen. And it's like, what the fuck? That was fast. The reason why it was fast is because now you're taking into Capricorn. So literally just spend time here. This is going to reveal if you're doing this for manipulative purposes to try and control people so you can align to something where you don't need to control anybody because you're unforgettable, you're unique, and you don't need to chase anybody. I actually got that from this great channel, Manifest with Matt. So definitely check that out if you want certain techniques. But the whole point of this technique is to bring out this worth. Okay, you sowed the seeds of value in May, and now you're ascending the highest application of this worth that you mastered in changing your behavior, applying that and harvesting that September by deciding. All you have to do is decide. So do you have to light candles? Do you have to spend certain people have Pisces energy, right? So they can spend a lot of time in visualization and imagination and they'll see quick results. For those of you that it might be harder to, like myself, you just have to decide it. You don't have to really do anything. Just decide it and assume and respond in that state. So you can't decide I'm worthy of what I desire. Like I can already see that. And the thing here is you'll find that certain people will be like, you know what, at first, like I wasn't even really checking for you. But then I started to notice boom, 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 boom. Like this Capricorn transit is going to bring real context in a way that will help you understand what's been happening. The Capricorn is 9th house to Uranus. So you're going to gain real contextual knowledge and higher understanding. It's going to teach you, it's going to be a blueprint. Okay. So you want to get super excited because this is your world. You are literally using this creation vision to create. It's going to be real. And you going in between worlds pushes this through. It's now, here's the thing. Okay. What's very important is you're not manipulating the 3D. You are working and aligning your internal world so that you bring this worth out to manifest and attract what vibrates. It's just that it's going to come in very quick. And now Venus's transit through here is going to up. What's going to happen is as you start to activate more of this technique, you're going to be like, wait a minute, this works. And Mercury is going to have you revisit, wait, is this what I want? Because some of you are going to be like, wait, I thought I wanted this because I had a less valuable sense of myself. But now Pisces has taught me that I can dream bigger. And so this is having you literally expand the understanding of how to come to this peak sense of everything you're realistically incredibly proud of. And this is off of receipts, by the way, you've had since Virgo season. All of you who commented exclamation marks and have been initiated with the ascension of these superpowers, that's going to be the basis upon which you attract very powerful soulmate connections too. They're going to make a beeline to you because you've made a mastery of this and that's what they need while they have what you need. Okay, complementary. So I want to just make sure we key this in. Mercury, especially with this technique, is once again you just feeling, oh yeah, boom. But I want to be clear here, down to you really imagining and seeing and deciding what you desire, desiring you because of what you feel you're incredible for. That's it. Now you don't have to chase anything. You're literally vibrating that's it. And it's coming in. It's literally like a device. The more you focus, the more the energy goes out. It's a magnet. When you stop focusing, boom. You feel me? You've already done the work, but is it going to keep magnetizing? So you want to keep focusing and focusing and focusing until it's there. Okay. And now this is going to change how comfortable you are. Now you're not waiting for anything to happen. You're creating your own world around it that is going to meet you. You're the vortex in which is going to come through. I can say this confidently because I've been doing this. The bike story that I share, you know what I'm saying? I did that on accident. Like, I was very sure, like, I walked around in my old apartment and I saw someone on like a motorbike, and I looked at that and I was very sure. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm getting that bike. I'm gonna get a bicycle. And I didn't know how I was gonna get the bike, you know what I'm saying? And it was the type of moped bike, but I was very sure. And then, you know, I was like, I'll get it eventually, right? And I walked around the block, and in less than 5 minutes, by the time I come home, I shit you not, someone is literally walking towards me with a bike, like, hey, do you want to buy this bicycle? And I'm like, what? Classic manifestation. Okay. And this is very important. I didn't doubt that I was going to get that bike because I knew I was going to buy it. That's the same thing as a cosmic order. But if I tried to doubt it and think about it, I wouldn't be at the right place in the right time. Now, here's the thing. Here's another thing about manifestation. I wanted the moped bike. He came with a cycle bike. It was not the bike that I wanted. It's not that I wanted a specific bike, but it wasn't the style of bike that I wanted, but it was still what I needed at the time. I still haven't ridden it, which is crazy, but like it was still what I needed at the time. And what's as far as like being able to use, and I was able to afford it. He gave me a discount on it. So the reason why, and I did have the money for it, was just like $80. He hooked it up. Picky ass. Right. But see, I wasn't like, no, that's not the bike I wanted. I instantly knew, yo, this is a synchronicity. Like, oh shit, like this is like my higher self do. So, and once again, like, I'm gonna give you another analogy here. Okay. I'm gonna flesh out this video. I did this analogy before. Manifestation is like ordering a pizza. Okay. And before I talk about manifestation, Mercury in Capricorn is you aligning to that, what you acknowledge you're incredible for, this self-definition. And now Neptune and Uranus, right? First, you have this self-definition. Now, Neptune is invisible, Uranus is visible. Mercury is your brain. Venus is your heart. Mars is your sexual organs. Okay. Neptune is a transpersonal aspect of you that channels the fifth dimension through your imagination. It is non-material. It is after Saturn. Saturn is the physical representation of the totality of 3D. Okay. Oh, wow. That was not smart. It is the complete, Saturn is a symbolic representation of the complete 3D totality of the universe. Everything that the cells, the atoms. Then you have the causal realm of the mind. Based on the projection that projects this physical realm, you have Uranus, which is the causal realm. And then you have Neptune, which is imagination. The fifth dimension, right? So the sextile to Neptune and the trine to Uranus are now, whether you're aware of this or not, this is why, if you're not aware of this, subconscious doubts will just manifest instantly. Versus if you align with your higher self concept of everything you acknowledge you are in your inner world incredible for, and now stepping up there. Because some of you will be like, I'm worthy of more time. I'm worthy to be respected. And then when you meet somebody who you desire and they don't respect you, you don't show up as that. You let them disrespect you. The universe is like, no, keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. Versus when you key that and be like, wait. You disrespecting me right now? We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that right now. And that changes everything. You hear me? So, relative to your ability to stay in that alignment and build with that, Neptune is now you imagining forward. Now, this is where we get advanced. Neptune is the imagination you are activating. Your imagination is God, as Neville Goddard said, and your brain is a fucking miracle. You can process so many subconscious functions auto-nervously that as you are breaking through 100% limitless cerebral apex function, this is going to be the basis for you to now connect with your higher consciousness and manifest all sorts of superpowers. Cue revolution. However, the moment you actually imagine anything, you are now creating the reality you're stepping into. You have full luxury. Remember, this is your decision and choice. So as you are imagining what you experience, you are manifesting. Neptune is the imagination. In Pisces, it's stretching what you believe is possible. This is where we're coming back to. It is a muscle you flex. The more feats you manifest, the more faith you have. A lot of you were skeptical about your skills 10 years ago versus now you've come into so much more faith in your abilities. You can off the cuff just pull the star card and just improvise. That doesn't have to mean anything, right? But personally, that's the first step. The imagination aspect is the faith that everything that I just imagined and have decided I put out there. Okay. Here's where we get advanced. Now, once we add the Uranus sextile, because you literally can just leave it at Neptune. You literally can just imagine it and be like, I wish for this, or I see it, I feel it, right? I wish for it, I imagine it, and then I have faith. Now, if you want to take this a step further, be careful though, because if you just do the Neptune, that's already powerful. That'll do it. If you do this, it's going to manifest it real time. Uranus is now the metaphysical, non-material, causal aspect of your mind that in the physical manifestation of Capricorn, your higher actions fleshes this sense of your higher self through your five senses. Taurus, Uranus is the causal mind that is having you extend Pisces with Neptune, your imagination. So you imagine, and now with Uranus, you manifest it on your body. I feel like that just had some of you break through and then you can release it. It's just you've been doing this unconsciously. You're getting more conscious of this. So you can imagine it, and then you can wear the imagination and feel through every sense of your body physically your manifestation as it is happening real time. Your ability to stay fish-tarded and now merge in between worlds. You will literally integrate it with everything you're doing. Now, Pisces can do this, right? This is also now the next third secret technique I want to give you. So you can imagine it, you can wear it. The Uranus hack in actually smelling and feeling and being there while still being in 3D is you actively alchemizing this. You're seeing the world invisible and you're manifesting it. It's fucking awesome. Okay. Now, you can do this for a period, but for those of you who want to break through and cross through that threshold, I described manifestation as a technique versus manifestation as a spirituality. this 3D reality isn't real. It's just a projection. So as you're awakening the power of your inner world and a relationship with your spirit, some of you may be invited to take the plunge. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Some of you won't be cuckoo because you're already cuckoo. So you'll actually take the plunge and be super normal. It's going to be weird as fuck. It's going to be weird as fuck. Others of you, you're going to have a 2-week retrograde process where by the time the retrograde happens, cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Because by the time Mercury retrogrades and it's sextiling Neptune, right, near Pluto, you are being pushed into this plunge so that you can lose your mind to regain it. The cuckoo facet is you're going to stay in that imaginary state, in that imaginative state, in your 5D world. Right now, and for those of you who take the plunge, this is going to build the neural pathways through Aquarius season to become multidimensional by Pisces season, the bonus round. So with that being said, like by the time you're multidimensional, you're like in the 7th dimension, experiencing things before they happen. As they're happening, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I actually understand what's happening. Like it's not just a deja vu anymore. And some of you are been there, done that. Okay, so the thing here is you're going to be called to actively stay in this world. Like your 3D is your avatar here, but you're constantly in this world of creation where you're not just doing it to get a result. You live there. And then you pop back into 3D to handle 3D things. Okay, does that make sense? So maybe you're in 3D handling 3D, and then you pop into 5D to do manifestation work, and then you go back to 3D. You're flipping it now. For some of you who take the plunge, you're coming in and breaking through more than ever into this inner world, and you're making that shift to 5D where I feel like there's some Pisces watching this though, where it's like, bitch, we've been here though. Bitch, we've been here. Like, this is where you called us delusional, bitch. This is where we live. I know, Pisces. I know. I'm sorry. But like, you literally can go into this place and that's just where you live. Warning for those of you who decide to live here, it's going to be incredibly fun. The risk here is that you can have too much fun because now this goes beyond just manifesting. Once you live here, everything you manifest is aligned with that. You're completely transforming your self-concept. And, Libras will be able to balance it perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Virgos can too. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. But some of you will be able to fully embody it where you align perfectly in that world as here. But you're going to feel the brain function. Another hack, 17 seconds that you focus will activate the magnet effect to start bringing it. Okay. It's going to be too much fun because a lot of the resistance you had before there was a lot of resistance with the cuckoo and being there because of the frustration between the time lag of the synchronity of what you're feeling and nothing happening. And before, when you were less stepped into your power, it was very easy for people to just kind of gaslight you and then completely disrupt this process. Now your synchronization level is complete. Sagittarius season ascended to synchronization. This is completing your synchronization. So the blocks aren't there anymore. We literally have Pluto at the end. You have broken through the difficulty. Basically, since 2008, your brain was kind of like frayed like a cord here. And it was a lot of complex patterning in your brain. And since 2008, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. You had to revisit a lot of patterns for years. And you did the equivalent of actually taking cogged hoses and releasing it. Now, more energy unconsciously is flowing through your brain than ever. And it's not until now that you turn it on. Oh, that's what happened. It all comes together. And it's going to be too much fun because that time lag isn't there anymore. And now it's a state you can just step into at will. And that's it. That's actually another way to say this. You are completing a conscious state that you have manifested miracles with at picosecond lengths before your conscious can attain it. And now you're doing this at will. You're breaking through into doing this at will now. But now you're growing how long you could do this at will. Some of you may find that you can enter this state at will for 5 seconds. Some of you can find that you can enter the state at will for 5 minutes. By the time we finish the completion arc, you've reached the max level you can, of course, enter the state. Others of you may have already mastered that too. So the last part, this is still not even the transit talk. Okay. So I just wanted to say, for those of you who live there, cool. This is still just the foundation I have to build, right? Okay. So the retrograde, once we reach, of course, the end of the year, which is so symbolic, the end of the year is going to reach you to that threshold where once we reach the retrograde, you are now pushing into, it's like you reach that alignment and boom, now you're fully immersing yourself in the full belief in everything. And it's not even tied towards manifestation as much as just stepping into here. Now the retrograde is you reevaluating how you organize everything that's coming into your life and you're manifesting, because now by this point Venus, of course, is not only going over Pluto, but the sun is getting ready to meet Mercury in a way that's going to facilitate the most incredible epiphany of your entire life. Okay. This reevaluation is going to have you revisit the steps you've been unconsciously stepping into and literally provide incredible insight for what you were doing and how you were doing it. And then you're going to adjust. It's kind of a more complex rehosing period. So if we take that into account, by the time Venus now breaks through into Aquarius, I want to note that the Sun Mercury conjunction happens, you guessed it, trine Uranus. So that trine to Uranus is hyper accelerating the unconventional practicality of everything you are enhancing your senses with relative to this awakening of your processing power. Okay. Remember, the transit starts with Sagittarius season. It reevaluates while the sun leaves Capricorn, and then it begins to go direct while the sun is gaining and amassing knowledge in Aquarius. So the first part of Mercury in Capricorn is the end of Sagittarius season where you're breaking through. Then we step into the retrograde during Capricorn season that's going to reevaluate the organization of how you think now that you have completed everything that you have learned to step into this next level. Mind you, by this point, you've finished the final boss battle. Okay. So Mercury going over Pluto is right after you finish the final boss battle. And then there's still certain items you need to collect. Like the game doesn't finish just right after the boss. For some of them they do, but they're still finishing up the level. Boom, then you go into Aquarius. By the time we step into the Aquarius aspect, 12th house, okay, then Cap is 12th house. This is transcending your utilization of everything you just broke through and knew. Similar to this. Sagittarius season, you ascend the awareness that, oh my gosh, I have supernatural abilities that are not a coincidence. This shit's actually real. Capricorn season, you actually start using these abilities. There is now a consistency to this causality that's practically applicable. You know, because you stepped into the season doing it. Like you saw the synchronization process is complete. Now you're having to reevaluate how you do everything you do because you have this now ability, you have this ability now coming through with the new moon in Capricorn that is activating this like a push button start car. Okay. Remember, this is the dopest version of yourself that you're stepping into. Then after Mercury goes direct, right? Let's say the Sagittarius season ability was your ability to hit. You thought it was a coincidence, but then you played roulette and it's like you called 4 and you hit 4. And it was redefining. Now you're going to the casino every week. Now you're literally getting better at the percentage rate you hit. And people are looking at you weird, like, how are you doing this? Now, by the time it's in Aquarius season, you're gaining higher knowledge. And the way you utilize this ability is so much, it's transcendent of how you broke through into it. So before, when you started using it, right, you would take like $100 and you would put like 20 here and 20 there and 20 there, and you started to notice it was hitting. And then, of course, in Capricorn, you started to organize more. Okay, I'm starting to notice the patterns. Versus now it's in Aquarius. You've mastered this now. By the time it's back, you get $5,000. You put it all on one. You hit it. Boom. Do you see that subtle difference? Now the way you use it, you're completely transcending utilization because now there's higher knowledge to apply this. There's all the potential problem is that all of this is happening really fast. This is a lot of power for your brain to handle intensely at once. So it will, if you do this right too, it will feel like you're going cuckoo because you're essentially breaking out the chrysalis of your 3D nature and you're stepping beyond dimensions in a society that has quintessentially lied to you about everything. So there is going to be that temporary phase where you're having to decide to trust you or external pressure that's lying to you. It's literally that simple. If you choose a lie, you will break down. But if you choose yourself, you will tap into everything that's incredible about yourself. And this will break you through. And you're going to feel more incredible than you have ever felt in your entire life. Because this is you taking back power at a higher level than ever. Okay. So that's going to lead to the end of this transit. And so by the time we're in Aquarius, coming in to prepare for the new moon, I think in Pisces, and you have completed the mastery of this brain processing, Aquarius is going to literally take this to the next level. All right. And anchor in a focal point to download more of this. If Mercury and Capricorn was more the hardware of your brain, you're now going to, now that you've set up this system, strengthen neural pathways through learning knowledge of these programs. Okay, this is the second part of this completion. And this is going to connect you with like minds and other people who stretch this out. So it's like you're completing it, Capricorn, and you find other people who are complete too. All right. So that concludes the first part of this transit talk. I had to make sure I say it like that because that's a general overview and a 3D way to see it. It's just this 3D way is very misleading. At its most basic level, you're completing your ability to process the power of your brain's function. And this is going to step you into incredible feats, which is important because with Jupiter that's squaring this in Aries, your understanding of yourself is expanding. So you're coming into more understanding of what more you can do. Now, what's really happening, the reason why it's very hard for me to say is this is all going to be controversial. So for those of you who've seen synchronicities, this isn't going to be controversial to you because it's like, oh, dude, I just did this last week. I just did this 2 minutes ago. I just did this now watching you. Okay. You're using your superpowers. The very weird thing about this is the utilization of your superpowers is skyrocketing on at a very jarring level that doesn't give you the ability to adjust. It's just like, bam, oh, snap. And you're having to forcefully adapt real time. But because of the process leading up to it, it's just going to click. So this is directly putting you into conflicts where you're now having to directly conflict against everything that has pretty much lied and deceived you up into this point. Many of your third eyes and crowns are just going to pop open, and you're going to be seeing and calling out more deception than ever. You're going to confront situations that you didn't have any receipts for, that you have, or you had receipts for that they weren't necessarily legit enough, but were always, but that you have now. And it's just going to hit so hard. And it's going to be the completion of conflicts that have kicked in for a while now. We do have temperance. So you once again bringing in something into form from nothing through great management and balance. Sag and Aquarius, we do have the star. So temperance is talking about you coming into greater balance so that you can facilitate more energy and more understanding of what you draw from your inner world into your outer world. It's going to give you your own unique understanding of alchemy. The thing is, this transit occurs during the final boss battle, and this is going to be some of the most intense awakening than you're usually used to, in alignment with some of the most intense world events that have been brewing up for the past few years that are directly going to pretty much involve you. So in the awakening of these abilities, you are in contact right now with ascended masters and beings who are facilitating with your connection with them higher advanced understanding of what's occurring, and also higher advanced ability to sense beyond your 3D senses. It's almost as if they're entraining you through these synchronicities and experiences to develop your senses. And it used to feel weird as fuck. For some of you, it still does, but now it's more normal than ever. Some of you literally may have been in conversations with yourself that you're realizing was never with yourself. Like you were legitimately talking with a being that is crystal clear, as real as you are, but just vibrated at a density beyond your ability to see. And the fluidness with which you actually connect is putting you in a position to lead forward with this. Right now, as we speak, especially with Mercury on the brink of sextiling Neptune, and right after we end this broadcast, you are with this balsamic phase of the moon opposite Mars, literally right now coming into this final ascension and breakthrough of how to use these abilities. Mars is literally sixth house to this Capricorn energy. So this is indicating to your mind through neural pathways built with its trine to Saturn. I'm going in exactly how to take action and use these superpowers. And when I mean superpowers, what's happening right now is you're being made aware of a latent treasure chest of abilities that you've been using subconsciously that you weren't aware you were, that the moon's going to be like, look, whoa, whoa. And now you're aware. Now you're entering that state at will. Now you just click. The click is happening right now. Happening being the actual mutable phase of the moon of happening. And once this goes into Capricorn, it's finished happening. And now you're moving forward post click. You feel this happening right now. The 12th house aspect to the sun means you don't see it because it's happening. You must surrender and allow it to happen. I also want to really emphasize that this superpower is huge. There we go. Some of you can float right now and do telekinesis. The balsamic phase represents highlighting unconsciousness, like something behind your awareness is an ascended understanding and vision of yourself that you're not aware of, that you can do. For example, Naruto awakened power, and the way he realized that he can float and fly was falling from a high place, and he was about to hit the lava, and he flinched, and then he realized he can float. He didn't know he can float. He just awakened it, but he did not know he could float. But it was his own, and he didn't have to know. His own instinct did this. You are coming into a realization of what you are completely blind to. It is unveiling itself right now. And this is set to shock you. Really, it's a Shazam moment. You're having your Shazam moment. You know, because you've had synchronicity. The synchronization process is literally completing right now. Imagine years worth of synchronization that once the moon hits this 1 degree aspect, you are officially complete. Boom. Now at this point, synchronization is complete, and you're moving forward using a limitless aptitude of your brain function that you didn't even think was possible. Or you did, but you weren't necessarily sure exactly how to control. You always knew. You always knew. You were just completing synchronization. Because if you don't synchronize your car's wheels, it won't be in balance. So the reason why your synchronization took long as bejesus is because most of you watching are galactic beings. By the time we step into even halfway through this transit, you'll discover the aptitude to take your Merkaba body and travel through different places beyond the solar system, actively expanding your Neptunian imagination of things you didn't know were possible before. There's a consequence to this, though, at an energetic level because of the frequency you're breaking into. You're going to break through into the frequency galactic wars that are occurring right now. Your decision, Capricorn, to cross through the Pluto threshold of activating your power will insert you into this intergalactic interdimensional war, as the protection your ignorance gave will now be replaced with awareness, and you're going to get attacked, but you're also going to clap back. See, the problem isn't that you're going to get attacked. The problem is that you're going to clap back and you're going to kick more ass than you accounted for. Because at least if you got attacked, you can go through a horrible tower moment and then you can just recover from it. But nope, you done leveled up so much. You're going to kick so much ass, and it's going to bring an even bigger wave. Because it's going to be like, yo, they kicked their ass. Bring in more. And you're going to be like, and then you're going to kick even more ass. Some of you are going to attract the attention of the corrupt Galactic Federation. And at first, it's going to be like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, these synchronicities are wild. Like, wow. And then you're going to actually be confronted by a real person who matches that synchronicity, who's an actual agent, and shit's going to get serious. And it's not going to be a fucking game anymore. And you're going to realize, oh, the inner world and outer world are aligning. These things weren't just in my head. I'm not just seeing these synchronicities for nothing. This shit's going to turn real, very sharp. And this could be for better or for worse. But this conflict, that the reason why the Galactic Federation, by the way, is a part of pimping these souls. If you've seen certain, I don't want to be that guy, but you've seen Matrix, which is about the outer world representation of using your 3D as a battery. And then there's Jupiter Ascending, which is gods from Jupiter harvesting human souls. There, and then you've heard of Anunnaki myths, which talk about the dumbing down of the human race as a slave race. Look, there are alien pimp daddies who have a lot of galactic real estate, and they, just like the puppet vessels they control here, which control the collective, do not want to be invested in your awakening. Right now, there is a frequency energetics being broadcast throughout the entire planet, and then there are tectonic manipulations on the ground so that you cannot connect to the ground, and so that you can't connect through the sky because of they like compare, at least before in the olden days, they didn't have that technology, so it was a lot easier to tap in and tune in. Now there's so many frequency band towers that they told you, oh, spirituality is bullshit. So the fact that we're putting these towers out to actually block your ability to use telepathy is preposterous. We're not evil occult overlords that know how to use sigils to fuck you up and to actually instill depression within you with everything we do. You guys are so fucking incredible. You have your own unique cultural and genetic gifts to where, especially some of you who are awakening your God potential, have realized you've broken through. For some of you, you had to work through this. You don't need to connect outside. You don't need to connect below. You can get this energy from within. Now you're a threat, because now you can connect with people as a hub. You can now be the spiritual broadband connector, and people can connect with you, gain all sorts of synchronicities and insights, and you're directly foiling these plots. You know, because it's already happening. And as this happens, you know what I'm saying? You're starting to see all sorts of conflict come through. Some of you are on the verge of actually changing someone's life and the way they live, and you weren't even trying to control them. They're willingly do it. Boom, they get hit with a tower moment. A toxic person comes through, takes them back. Like, it's not a game. It's not a game. Like, people are getting hyped and switched just by being around you, just because of the inner alignment. Going within and aligning. And a lot of these forces couldn't account for, like, a lot of the slip-ups were the underestimation, and a lot of the underestimation was because of your wisdom. So this awakening is putting you in more awareness of what Aquarians and Sages and Caps and Pisces have seen, the frequency war. This is that kind of transpersonal realm that you being aware of this attracts you. So it's like a ghost. A ghost will see that people can't see it. But then when a ghost sees someone that can see it, it's on. It's on. It's literally like Pokemon. It's like, you know how you can't avoid those random encounters? Like, everything stops and they have to walk through. Like, you see them and they see you. It's on. It's a legitimate frequency. Once you enter this state of gnosis that aligns your inner and outer world, you are effectively tuning in and showing yourself. And now that's flashing your crown on. That's going to put you in these energetics more, and it's going to make you a target. And at least when you get jumped by these frequencies, because of quantum entanglement that connects you with everything that's also projecting to you, if you just took that jumping, you would have just gone through a tower moment, probably been really depressed and overloaded with negative energy, and then you can just kind of move on. But no, you're going to kick ass. You're going to, for some reason, you're like, bitch, you're not about to jump me, and you're going to go off. And it's going to shock a lot of unaligned negative projectors that you single-handedly are able to do this, also in connection to your spirit team who will be unconsciously supporting you and completely breaking through to the point that they have to bring even more legions. Some of you are going to be hacking and slashing and kicking ass and making it look like nothing. So you'll find that the growing tension and conflict and difficulty is completely breaking through. The power balance has shifted, and what used to be hard is easier because you leveled the fuck up. So this is you just kicking final ass. And it's also reflexively empowering your brain's ability to harness these extra abilities as you, yes, complete synchronization. Here's a pick a card reading that will show us. Here's card 1. What archetype are you moving forward with? This archetype is a gift you can move forward with in order to realistically embody. So if you want to do the hack, you can focus on that. And this is also, there's 5 choices. It's also going to show you what exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's also going to show you what exactly you're activating this power with. So the completion of this processing power will bring you down this path you can use to aid in this completion. The underlying theme we have is the magician. Listen to me. This is Mercury. You are entering a limitless like state. Your relationship with infinity is going to allow you to harness your abilities impure. So this is what this is saying. You're the one. If you want to do this hack, I want you to actually feel like you're the one. You're the center of this vortex. So whatever you desire, you can reality hack this by feeling that you're the one for them. Now, for whatever reason, it will be stronger if it's for stuff that you acknowledge you actually like, because then you'll feel genuine and be like, yeah, I'm very solid. I'm a very solid individual. I have real experiences and memories of me being solid, and people actually appreciating that. You feeling that will strengthen it so much. Consciously, and in the iceberg under your consciousness will do it so much because you're imprinting that. Your subconscious cannot see what your 5 senses see. So your conscious mind is giving that report in order. Let me show you an amazing analogy that I think you guys will like. Oh, snap. Interesting. Oh, well. It's a certain diagram that I wanted to show, which is very important because all right, I guess I can't do it on here. But basically, we do have your environment. Your 5 senses are going into the environment, and then you have your conscious mind. Hold on. I'm just going to draw it. The first thing I want you to focus on, though, while you meditate on your pile is you have all these abilities. You have all these talents. Okay. You're focusing it all in one ability that allows you to do all these talents at your greatest level. Okay. So the magician here is saying you are actualizing the development of one major ability and talent that taps you into all of them, or however you want to interpret this. you are starting this off by kicking off your ability in a new way or a new focus of it. This is huge. This is huge. This is huge. Okay. The pile you pick will aid into how you develop this ability. So I'll be right back because I feel like once some of you see this, it's going to make sense a lot. Pow, pow, pow. Ugh. All right, guys. I tried to draw this the best I could. I think this is on Dream Manifestors on Instagram or Godhoodness, but be very mindful because peaks of you breaking a very major element of Capricorn energy is this delusional sense of elitism and status. So it's going to be very hard for certain people to understand why you're so confident. They're going to feel offended that you're confident in the way you are because they feel like you're a lesser status that they feel you should be, and all sorts of nuances that expose their inferiority complex and insecurity and mental illness, that instead of like taking personal at this stage, you have ascended beyond that. So instead of taking it personal, just tell them to eat a dick. Just tell them to eat a dick with your energy. That's it. You don't even have to acknowledge it. At this, there were stages before where you had to actually acknowledge it and address it. Now that you're above it, it's like by you vibrationally, just like, oh, that's beneath me. You literally affirm it. Just be like, eat a dick. Well, then eat a dick. This is the actual diagram. Okay. So you have, of course, the external world and your five senses. You have your conscious sun sign and then and Mercury, and then you have your moon sign, right? Or your subconscious. They say conscious, subconscious. Your subconscious mind does not have eyes to see what your conscious sees. Okay. So this is your conscious mind that's taking in all of your environment through your five senses. What happens is your conscious mind takes all of this in a report and says, I see this, I feel this, I see this. And then that's what you feed to your subconscious through your thoughts. You're like, oh, well, the report based on this is what's happening. Your subconscious cannot see. Your subconscious relies on you to be conscious of it. So whatever you write on that report, that's what it believes. That's what it believes. So when you see an experience and you're like, oh, this means I'm not good enough. Your subconscious reads the report and it's like, okay, I'm not good enough. And I'll create that program. So a hack you can do is based on the diagram. What they suggest is tear the report up. Ignore your 3D reality. You have the essence within. So tear up the report. Literally ignore what you see and write in the report to your subconscious what you want to create for your five senses to see. This is what accounts for the time lag, for the amount of time your subconscious processes this report. So the more you just keep writing the report, you may have had programs built for years. So you have to just constantly keep reporting. And what's going to happen through repetition, whether through instantly or 21 days, is this is going to move through. The reason why certain people can manifest instantly is because they broke through old programming. So they can see it, it happens. The reason why it takes some people more is because they have to overcome a lot. Of course, how long it takes depends on you. But yeah, that was it. That was it. Okay, so if you picked pile 1, first of all, the magician is saying that you have a supernatural ability that you're going to move forward into using. It's based off stuff you've already done. The thing is, this could be so simple. This supernatural power and ability could literally just be a function of brain processing that lets you wake up early without the need of an alarm clock. It's going to be very subtle and simple at first. Card 1, we have the sun. So with the sun, this is definitely talking about fully expressing your conscious light. And this is you walking the path of light. And so as you align your decision making and brain to your self concept, it's as the main character. It's as everything you touch being brought. You're literally raising the vibration wherever you go. So the magical ability that you're awakening, you're going to use to shine light and illuminate the path forward. Be very careful because we're entering the period of darkness with this. So this sun card is going to be illumination that will guide you towards beating the final boss battle. I think out of all of the piles, this is going to be the happiest. Literally, it's going to provide so much illumination moving forward that it'll clear up a lot of doubt. So it's a huge deal if you picked 1. So card number 2, we do have the Empress. The Empress card is talking about you're going to get pregnant and you're going to have a baby. No, really, the Empress card is talking about your magical ability you're going to use to create abundance and literally beautify things. You can use this in the beauty industry. You can use these powers to seduce, to enchant, to charm. There's going to be this command with which you literally can influence what others find beautiful and to really gain this sense of adoration. Empress, like, where's the sun? People who pick pile 1, wherever they go, people are just going to be inspired. For pile 2, people are going to fall in love with you. It's like if you had the power where everywhere you go, everyone catches feelings or everyone's trying to get at you, like you have this mastery of command over this Venusian power, but it's also the ability to polish things. Like it's a Midas touch. You can give anything a good look. There's a polish and finesse here that you can use to make a lot of money or really bring out greater beauty. So this is really finessing this level of style. How do you move up to God Squad? You may have to just click the join button again, and it should give you the ability to upgrade. And I do have the link to that if you don't see the join button in the description box. So card number 3. Casaniga. So we do have, of course, pile 3, the Fool card. Pile 3 is saying you're using your magical ability to pioneer something that has never been seen in the world. Doesn't mean that it's new, but it's something completely different. And certain people might look at it kind of weird because it's a fresh concept. You need to have an open mind. This is literally going left field and taking this leap of faith, because this is a brand new adventure of discovery that's going to really give you a totally new way to look at something. Elisha, you did. This is also really cool too, because this is Uranus. Okay. So we had the sun, we had Venus, and now we have Uranus. Your channeling is not only going to be on point. Some of you, the reset button is being hit in your life. Your entire mythos is being rebooted. Okay. And it's putting you in a position to realistically own up to this sense of a new direction in your life. All right. So be willing to embrace that. The more open-minded you are, the better. This is going to be super fun too. It's like 3 is close to 1 because there's a lot of freeing. It's just 1 is so much more inspirational and happy, whereas 3 is a lot more independent. And it's like you can literally be whoever you want to be. It's literally the blank slate. So for card number 4, we do have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is saying that you're going to use these new magical abilities and you're going to become an authority figure, a pope-like figure who teaches. So it's like you're going to be like what's his name? The Aaron Dowtrees, the manifestation coaches. You're going to come into such mastery of your ability. If you wanted to create an online course to really teach people, people will flock to you for your wisdom. You have such a really good way of breaking down and teaching the knowledge and showing it in a way that, really helps people learn. This is low key, but it's also very, 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 very amazing. Okay. Some of you will be linked to organizations who pick you up or that you create. And you're going to be really seen as whereas Pile 3 is going to be seen as crazy, but also ahead of their time for some people. And Pile 1 is going to be seen as inspirational, and Pile 2 is going to be seen as very beautiful and glamorous. Pile 4, you're going to be seen as very knowledgeable, and very orthodox, like the way you're able to do things as well by the book. Some of you will be pioneering a new religion, like you'll literally be the Pope or a belief system in a new way. These cards are hitting, boy. Damn. That's just crazy. All right. Finally, I haven't seen any of these cards. We do have the Chariot. Every day we lit. All right. Pile 5. I really like this because every single card got something distinct. Pile 5, you're going to use your abilities to perform feats. Okay, you're going to just forward. You're going to be able to accomplish your greatest goals with your abilities. And the only thing with the Chariot is to keep moving forward, because there's the temptation to just kind of get comfortable with what you achieve. And you're just going to keep using that to move forward. So this is like you're going to move forward and get $100,000. But instead of spending like 50,000 on like a chain or like 20,000, you take 90,000 of that and you move forward again. Boom. Now you make 1 million. Then you take 900,000 of that. Boom. You invest in that. Boom. Now you make it. Like you don't even have to invest like that, but you're just going to keep moving forward. Like you're not going to give up the forward momentum. So anyone who picked Pile 5, you are paving this path of victory. Now, this is amazing. Like 1 and 5 together is a major victory, but you're going to become a hero. Whereas 1 is like an inspiration, this is a victory and success story. People are going to look at your story about how you overcame the odds and moved forward with your willpower and you gained success. Okay, this is a card of Cancer. This is the Pile 4 was Taurus, Pile 5 is Cancer. Those are the only 2 ones that were zodiac signs. So yeah, this could also be a really dope vehicle, or a mode that you move forward in. So yeah, beautiful. Please feel free to focus on these themes as we conclude, right? I'm going to be doing the live readings. So I did get some of the cash apps. For those of you who want a card, click the description box below. I'll pull 1, 2, or 3 for you. For those of you who want an astrology reading, I got you for that too. Here's the thing. During the final boss battle, you are going to be swarmed vibrationally and physically, indirectly, through disrespectful microaggressions and nuances from people even closer to you who peep the frequency shift, and from people who are just angry at the concept of you but don't know you physically, but you'll still feel that energetically. Just you shifting the frequency is going to further shift leverage. And so that's going to attract negativity in an effort to shift you back. It's like they're shifting you back in a position that they have leverage over you because you gave them that power. Now you're taking back that power. There's a dark side of manifestation to where everyone has free will in their own reality, but you can manifest someone's role in your reality. And it doesn't circumvent their free will, but just like you can manifest anyone, other people manifest and can manifest you. I felt it happen to me too with certain people. Like some people are just powerful like that. And now it's not necessarily anything intrusive. This is just what I said in the beginning. How well did you focus? Because if you focus and keep your mind sharp, the only thing that protects you from other manifestation techniques influencing you, which happens every second of your ability in reality. So there's so many layers of cross manifestations pulling you. Your alignment to your true self makes it impossible for you to be pulled into other people's manifestations, because you can now set an imagination concept, and then you can, through shadows of doubt, channel enemy frequencies to subconsciously influence how you feel to affect your manifestation. This is where the battle happens. And that's why I'm saying, like, all you have to do is just align within. You don't have to shoot a gun. You don't have to really smack anybody. You can smack them with your dick and not your clit, your dick, but you just need to align within. The boss battle is now, by the way, great question. The boss battle has officially just begun. The square to Jupiter is the burst into getting this. So the final boss battle starts off with the first couple of weeks of Capricorn season. When you fight the final level of the game, like the level with Bowser, you don't just immediately fight Bowser. Did you notice that? Like when you fight that final boss, you have to go through a whole level first, and then you have to go through another level, and then finally it ends with the boss battle. That's Capricorn season. You got to go through the first decade, then you got to square Chiron, then you reach Pluto. So this is you applying everything you've learned to go through these very intense holiday periods and to break through this completion. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. You do have angelic support. Temperance is you're going to find a way to balance all of that together and bring it all together. Some of you for the first time ever. Dat Mothi, I got you. Collect as many coins as you can to get a better score and ending. Let's get it. But yeah, as these frequencies attempt to jump you so that you can shift, because you're going to kick ass. When I say you're going to jump everyone and go off, that's basically just by making the decision to not back down. Remember the weekly tarot, we got that for Virgo and Gemini, which was saying don't back down. And it's crucial for the Virgo and Gemini within you, because Virgo and Gemini telling you not to back down isn't Virgos and Geminis. It's the Virgo and Gemini within you, which is your thought process and analyzation. If you back down on your ideas and how you behave, you're basically cucking yourself. If you're backing down to that pressure, nothing else can fulfill. Like Gemini and Virgo are so crucial into creating your reality because those are the first dimensions of your attitude and behavior that create your lifestyle. So if people can manipulate that, they can manipulate you. And because you're standing your ground, you're not allowing people to manipulate you. You're literally, some of you are literally going to feel people act different because you shift your frequency and you're sure of yourself. It's going to make you aware of microaggressive, manipulative dynamics between people who feel like they have to put a jab in. And you'll see some of them are just possessed by entity. Like they may not even be conscious of this. And you'll start to see that's what creates these conflicts. And you'll start to really see the power is more within. And so the more you stand in that power, the more extreme you'll see this hatred. And your boss battle is to just step through that. Most people will break down and they'll feel like this is too afraid. And then they'll break down and give up. Especially when passive aggressive psychological games are played to undermine your sense of self. But you already changed the report. You're not looking at the five senses. You're aligning with your inner self. You're focused on everything that's incredible about you. So when you break through Pluto at the end of February with this self-concept, now you've seen through the illusion, everything begins to change more rapidly. And these energies are going to be mad in a way where it's like, damn, it's not working. There's nothing we can do. And it's just pure hatred. It's like, well, if we can't stop you from doing it, then we're going to make you feel as bad as possible for doing it. And that's where it's like, eat a dick, bitch. I don't care what you think. Oh, and that's it. Yeah, vulgar. I know, but boom. Welcome to the completion of this. So, that mouthy bednass. The underlying theme that we have for you is they're gonna be so big, man. We do have the justice, so like they're in balance with your own frequency is automatically instilling a karma check for anybody who's treated you wrong. It's just going to come through to be addressed. It's also a good period to have your paperwork right and any decisions that need to be made squared out. The card we have for you is the Lovers, and we have this with Temperance. So this is a relationship with a soulmate who you might start off platonically with or just as friends, that both of you are balancing your complementary nature together. Justice means that there are certain lessons you've both agreed to learn in this lifetime. And individually, this can represent itself in balancing your mind and your heart and taking a much more balanced approach towards your passions, if this doesn't apply romantically. And the Justice card having the business right in order to do that. So we do have Lightworker Enterprises, love reading, new love. Let's see. As a Pisces rising and a Virgo sun, this fifth house aspect in your 11th will unfold reality to put you in places where you belong and where friends can kind of hook you up with stuff that you love. So the opportunities will be there. We do have the Emperor. So the underlying theme, if this isn't the archetype of a lover, this is definitely your established authority through discipline and more power coming from you. But we do have the Moon. We do have this with the Magician, and we do have this with the Sun. So you're literally balancing yin and yang through, especially as a Virgo, your magical relationship with the internal and external. This is huge. You're master, and I think you have a Leo moon, so you're a yin yang apprentice. So it's like you're mastering the different polarities of your spirit and soul, and this is breaking you through how much more amazing you could utilize your abilities. This also reflects how in the past you were going through certain psychic abilities. You weren't sure what was an illusion, what was intuition. And now with this realization of your abilities, it's all coming out clear. You're stepping in. Sun is the near future. It's the next step. You're going to come into so much happiness, which is beautiful. So that works really well for love. I mean, it'll create the environment for you to choose who you want to love and how, which is beautiful. You're leveling up. This is a huge message I'm getting. Some of you could be feeling growing pains from leveling up. You're leveling up. Just keep embracing that. Okay. Angeli. That's a really good question. We do have the Magician, and we have this with the Star. Yep, I knew it. So, Angeli, ask yourself and ask him, because if he wants to go, if he's tired, he's out of here. But ask yourself, do you want a miracle? Because if you decide that he's going to recover from this or stay longer, he's going to stay longer. It's you alone are magical enough. If you just decide to not have hope, hope is powerless, right? It's different from faith. We don't want meaningless hope. You must decide and just believe. You know what I'm saying? This is what I want. The Magician is talking about your thoughts being connected as above, so below. So, like, what you are assuming is going to happen. And this is where you can change this consensus. I was like, could she use manifestation to change it? And this confirmed it. You're the star here. This is the miracle. The star card is actually saying, to answer your question, I don't know if he has a year, but the star card is talking about a miracle. This could even be a recovery. Maybe he's meant to transition, and if he does, it's going to be in a peaceful way. But this is talking about a dream come true because of your uncompromising faith and belief towards this, but really the focus of your mind. So even outside of this, for you, this is talking about your dream come true and you stepping into your star quality. That was very powerful. Okay, so we do have Jose Sans, 96 Gemini. Let's get it. Born 90. Yeah. 96 means you're a new generation. So you're a new generation angel with Saturn in Aries, which means you're a leader of the new school. For those of you with Saturn in Aries, you're getting the torch handed and passed to you by 93, 94. And they're going to be definitely rough doing this because it's literally the end of the world that they're facilitating. And, there's certain things they may not have been told coming into this that they have to literally complete so that by the time you get the baton pass, they martyred themselves for you. And you guys are going to, when I say you guys are the leaders of the new school, any of you with Saturn Aquarius, especially born in the 90s, you are historically going to be known as the individuals who came of age in the era where all original content came through. We're not going to be seeing reruns anymore. We're going to be seeing new concepts that are sparked from y'all. And this is definitely beautiful, seeing that you're a Gemini who probably has Uranus in Aquarius, because your ability to, of course, channel all of this effectively gives you the supernatural quality of your Gemini brain function to automatically know what you're going to say. Jesus goddamn Christ. You were born right before the new moon. So your moon is in Gemini, your Mercury's in Gemini, your Mars is in Gemini, your Venus is in Gemini, and your 23 degrees Gemini. Bro, that's ridiculous. Oh my God. The genius of your brain's processing speed on Mars in Gemini, so brilliantly being able to, with its intuitive link of the moon, just discern what's true, is like kind of having NZT. It's the Virgo is able to analyze how things are, but you're able to just like, that's that. Da, 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 da. It's like having a high-speed calculator in your brain. And then that trines Uranus. You're a monster, dude. You're a fucking monster. Like, you can just pick things up. You can like see something the first time and kind of pick it up. There's a understanding of this as Pluto awakens this 2023 that's going to break through controversial aspects of you. Jose, you have this capability of your thoughts that people assumed you were making up. They thought, oh, this person's trying to act cool, trying to act like they have abilities. But for you, it wasn't an ability. It's just the way you think. And now it's fleshing out. And it's really fucking up with people's heads because they kind of just assumed blanket base that you were bullshitting, but you were actually true with this the entire time. And it's going to shatter people's realities. Whereas it's just going to be another day for you. So you may be picking up subconsciously on hatred. It's not towards you. The hatred you're being projected, it's not you they hate. It's themselves they hate. They hate that you can do things effortlessly that they struggle to do, and they're just taking it out on you. So don't take it personal. I feel like as an angel, you kind of feel bad at it because they're pathetic. Anyway, we do also see that Mercury is going to be going through your 5th house, and you have Jupiter there. So Mercury is now anchoring the greater integration of how you'll be not only evolving this sense of your creativity, but because Jupiter is transiting where you have Saturn in the 8th, you're expanding how much more confidently you deal with others in light of where your word and your intellect are directing your career path. And the idea around how you want to express the message you want to express as a master. Christian Dixie. Aqua Sun, Leo rising, so you totally kinged out. Sag Moon, so you're ascended. As a Leo rising, you are fully integrating the lifestyle of luxury that will enable for the incredible processing of your brain to form a lifestyle around how you actually express your talents. This is going to be aware to you as a transcendence of all of your unconscious habits, which negatively influence how much more incredibly you apply discipline to think about how you live your life. So you're going to see you're a genius here. You got the aqua genius energy. So everything's just going to come together. The causality around how seamlessly you tie in synchronization to how it applies in 3D is going to really now bring hidden in plain sight certain realizations that you didn't know how to synchronize that you can synchronize now. And it's really beautiful because relative to this, it's going to feel like you're liberating a sense of your relationships with other people as this leads into Aquarius. It's going to feel like since May or August, the loading screen was you kind of getting closer and closer to realizing something. It's like you felt you were there, and this pushes you there. It's like you're now adding grounded footing towards this, which is very important because a lot of this realization, you're a celestial, you're an ascended celestial, you're a multi-talented. So like you have been carrying the burden for a lot of people, and this is going to really help complete how much more you can be of service to others and then release that burden to not take away. So even more so for you, people are going to be treating you weird because you don't fit in the box or archetype of what people feel like you should. Like there's an idea of there's an idea of you that people have of you. And the Aquarius in you is like the audacity, you stupid bitch. Like, how dare you act like you can tell me who to be? And you instantly rebel against that. And you're not necessarily being rude. It's just at a frequency level, it rubs people off the wrong way. And now you're coming into the acceptance that there's nothing anyone can do about that. So what direction do you want to take that in? Right? Do you want to be a terrorist with this and terrorize people? Do you want to be a humanitarian with this and help people understand? I mean, celestial invasion is going to come through mid-2024. So for you Aquarians, you're going to have the decision on, do you want to help aliens abduct humans, or do you want to defend humanity against invading aliens? I'm gonna be honest, a lot of these Aquarians do not fuck with y'all. So they're gonna help these aliens. Oops. All right, that's all we got. I said too much. Y'all stay blessed as always. I will see you all next year. By the time we meet again, your proficiency with using your abilities is going to skyrocket. Like every degree and every day of this brings you more and more into like exponential. Like imagine from 2010 to 2019, this was your development. And now in 2020, parabolic curve. So you're going to be seeing And just know we're still just getting started. So embrace the struggle. It'll break you through like a chrysalis. And just remember, you are the most incredible part of this reality. If it wasn't for you, a crucial cog and component in this wheel would not function. If just one cog in a watch is off, it's going to mess the synchronous nature of the clock. So if you haven't yet awakened to your importance, tell these hating ass dark forces to eat a dick. Seriously, like physically say it. Tell them to eat a dick. Remember how incredible you are. And let's go. It's revolution time. We really need you. Peace.